This is a beginner's guide for Overwatch 2. I'm going to start the basics since there's a lot of new players coming in right now when I made this video. And we're going to ramp it up as we go and get more and more into the complexity of how this game works. So, before we get into this, I just want you to know I'm going to try my best to remember to put timestamps in this so you can actually kind of skip to where you're at in case you have opened the game before and you know some of the basics. So, feel free to look at those if you're feeling impatient or you just watch the whole thing. It's up to you. Right out of the gate menu, obviously play heroes. You can look at all the different heroes here and you can investigate them. You can see the hero information on each one to see what their abilities do, although the abilities are a little lacking in information, sadly, so there's no like numbers and things on them. There's all your stuff, your skins and whatever. You can check out the different cosmetics and all that. We have the shop, which is where you buy stuff. You click up here to buy Overwatch coins if you want to spend real life money, or to buy stuff in the shop, and then the battle pass, you also use coins to upgrade it. The button will be right here, but I already bought it for a previous video. If you want to know more about the battle pass, I'll link in the description below my entire video about the battle pass and everything about how it works and stuff. But long story short, TLDR is you can buy premium, you get rewards for leveling up. Doing matches gives you XP towards it. Challenges also give you XP. There's dailies and weeklies. Weeklies will give you Overwatch coins as well, so you slowly get them as a free player as well. And new heroes are hidden behind battle passes. Your social tabs where you add friends and stuff, you can add them right here. You gotta know their BattleNet tag or whatever has numbers after it and stuff. And also you just right-click someone to invite them, and there's all the options, whisper and all that. You can also obviously type like /W and whatever, type their name if you're into that type of doing it. Career profile, it's the buttons here, but you can also right-click up here to see it. You can also do this for other people. If you're in a party with people, you can right-click and view their profile and then see all their stuff. You can look at your statistics. You can look at your match history, which is really helpful for a new player to like watch what happens. You can go and see if you didn't know this as a new player, there are replays of all your matches and you can go and watch replays so you can like evaluate what happened, what went wrong, what went right, try to, learn and get better. There are achievements in this game. There's customizing different parts of your profile, your icon right here, your name cards, player titles and things. So the player titles and name cards are new actually in Overwatch 2. The challenges just links to that same thing I showed a second ago. So that's the menuing for most of it. So the play is going to be the main button you're ever pressing in your life. There's unranked, competitive, arcade, there's all stuff. So unranked is basically a watered down version of competitive. It's like one round at a time instead of going back and forth. And there is a role queue and open queue. So Overwatch has these two different systems. Role queue is a totally different matchmaking than open queue. They can't be played together. So like, if you queue for quick play, you'll not be in the same match as any player who clicked the open queue one. They're in totally different matchmaking systems. Role queue is you pick what you want to play. Do you want to be a tank, a DPS, a support, or do you want to just have it fill you in for whatever is needed in a group or, for a match to start? And you just select which ones you want, and then you ready up for the game. And in open queue, it just kicks you in immediately because open queue is different. So role queue is there's two DPS, 2 healers, and 1 tank. But quick play is anyone can play anything. You could be playing Mercy, and someone could be like, Mercy, go DPS. We're going to go 4 DPS and a healer. Get the hell off that. And you could just be like, I'm going to play Roadhog now. Like, open queue's open. You can just play whatever. Then there's all the other random matches. So there's mystery heroes where it just respawns you as random things. It's like borderline arcade, but they put it in unranked now. They put it in... Is it actually called this unranked tab? Yeah, unranked tab now in Overwatch 2. So it just every time you die and you come back in, you're a different character. It was a really popular game mode in Overwatch 1. So that's probably why they put it in here. And then there's Deathmatch Free-For-All, which is about what it is. Just Deathmatch. You just kill people, and first person to 25 or 50 or something wins. I haven't played in a while. I don't remember the condition for winning it. Competitive is something that a lot of people are obsessed with, but I'm actually think a lot, if not maybe possibly the majority of players never even play competitive. Competitive is how you get your ranked. Your ranks is how you... get these icons for your different whatever ranks, tank, damage, support, and stuff. There's also open queue though. So if you click that, there's open queue and role queue. Again, just like unranked, totally different matchmaking. So role queue is going to put you in different matches than open queue. They don't play together. Open queue, same thing as unranked. Anyone can pick anything. It was a popular throwback thing. Overwatch 1, this was the only thing at first. And they eventually added role queue after Goat's meta was too powerful, and it was the only way to get rid of it. So they added role queue, which I'm actually glad they did. I personally like role queue. But yeah, different ranks for this. You can be ranked GM in this and gold in this and all this. It's different ranks for everything. Each role has its own rank. So right now I just placed and it put me in diamond, and then I played match and got diamond rank 2 in support. And if I play damage, I'll have to place as damage. If I play tank, I'll place as tank. I mean, I could be a bronze tank and a GM damage and a diamond support or whatever. It's just, you know, each one has its own one to make sure that you play at the right level for what you know, because these things, the skill set from these don't always cross over. There's a lot of people who are, like in my case, GM support, but if I play damage, I'm going to be like a diamond damage just because I never do it. I'm not good enough at it. Same for tank, like diamond tank or, you know, something like that. And then flex would be just throw me in whichever one. But the way that's going to work is, say I'm diamond here, I'm GM here, and I'm bronze tank. If I go for all, it'll just fill me in, like it'll be queuing me for each one of these at their own rank. So if I go for all and I hit ready, if it throws me into a damage match, that's going to be a GM damage match if I'm a GM damage player. That's what it's going to be searching for. And if it throws me in a support match, it's going to be the diamond whatever, because that's what rank I am in that. So it'll still keep you within your rank if you click that one. And then open queue will just immediately queue you. And again, same thing as before. It's just anyone plays anything. You can yell at your support to go play tank and yell at your tank to go play support and whatever. Anyone swapped anything, you could run. I think I haven't played in a long time. I thought you could run like 6 tanks or whatever. So yeah. Arcade. So arcade is where they roll game modes in and out and stuff. There's going to be different things in here. They change daily. And there's push maps. There's playing certain maps, capture the flag, low gravity. I mean, you're just looking here for, like, you know, really crazy random game modes with different settings and weird stuff. Like low gravity is a weird one. You jump and there's like low gravity. You go really high and, like, you know, take a long time to fall and stuff. No limits 5v5. So I assume that's going to be, you know, anyone can play any number of things. You have 5 tracers or whatever. Actually, one thing on competitive play, another thing to mention on open queue and ranked and unranked is I don't think you can all be the same hero, though. Like, you can't have 6 or 5 soldiers 76. You can't have 5 Winstons. Only one person can be each thing. So that is a limit on that. But other than that, anyone can play anything. You can be a tank, support, DPS. What you can just swap around. Custom games. So custom games are pretty much that. There's popular ones, favorites. You just go to all games. Is the old school way is just look at the browser. You can type in things like, I don't know the names of these anymore, parkour, and it'll just, everything by parkour. It'll tell you the ping over here, how many players are currently in the lobby, what map it's on, what game mode it is, what the teams are like, and then the name of the lobby that they made. You can create your own, and then you would give it a name, and you can make it friends only, everyone, invite only, choose the stuff, go to the settings, choose all the presets. I mean, this is actually a pain in the ass to go through. There's so many settings. I mean, there's what maps do you want to have it, you know, roll from, what heroes are allowed, what, like, do you want to change stats on them and things. It's custom games in Overwatch are actually pretty nuts. You can add AI and stuff. So that is custom games. I mean, how to get, okay, exit out of that. And then there was experimental, which is not a thing right when I made this video, but sometimes they'll be doing this thing where there's an experimental patch you can play before they roll it out so they can test it further and tweak a few things before they bring it live to the game. And then there's training, which is really nice for a new player. There's tutorial, which is, you know, if you're really new, you could do a tutorial if you want. There's practice range, which practice range is really nice for a new player. You really should go to the practice range when you want to try a new hero and you want to see changes to a hero and be like, okay, how does it work? You can attack the bots. You can heal the other bots over here. These ones take damage, so you can actually heal them, test out how healing works. You can go over here and hit moving targets. So the practice range is really nice for anyone who wants to, you know, check out what a new hero is, how their kit works, get a small feel for it before you just jump right into a game. So definitely check that out if you're a new player. Use that to look at heroes and decide what you want to do. And then there's practice versus AI. And as a new player, you can go in this to get used to the game if you've literally never played, just to understand what the hell's happening. And what this will do is it'll be exactly like a normal match, but you pick a difficulty of how hard you want the AI to be, and then you'll go in, it'll queue you up for it, and then it will throw you in with other players against AI. I was hoping this would pop immediately so I could look at it, but I guess not. I'm going to back out. There we go. And it'll do like a normal game mode, you know, of push or 3CP or whatever against AI. So now let's talk about game modes. So if you've never played Overwatch before, I'm going to show you the different game modes. So there's Control, Escort, Hybrid, and Push. And they don't have 2CP anymore in the game. In Overwatch 1, there was this game mode people call 2CP, where there's 2 points, and they removed those. I thought we were supposed to still be able to play them in here, but I don't see them in here. Maybe there's some other way to do it. But we're going to start off with a control map. So you can see what control is, Lijiang Tower. I'm going to add in an AI. So the way that control maps work is it's basically King of the Hill if you're coming from other video games, other shooter games, and whatever. And in Overwatch, you start off, if you're in role select, you'll only be able to pick from within your roles. So say I was support, I can only pick from these. If I'm tank, I can only pick from these. So let's pretend I'm support. I'll just pick this character, and you continue. And right now, it's not going to have a real match because I'm just playing against AI, and there's not a full lobby. Like, I didn't actually start the match. So for a custom game to actually start the match, you have to go to show lobby and start game mode, and then it'll let you start even in a 1v1 or whatever. So, yeah, you pick here. A normal flow of a game in Overwatch is you have a little bit of time to assemble your team. It gives you 30 seconds to pick your team, pick your hero, get started and stuff, get back from the bathroom, whatever, because a lot of people queue for a game and then go get water, go to the bathroom or something. And then you can pick here, and if you want to join voice, there's, I don't know what it is on controller. I guess you can just hit exit like this maybe and go to social. There we go. So back out and go to social, B, and then whatever, select menu, whatever. I don't know, controllers, I don't know. You can go here and you can join voice by clicking this, and that'll throw you into voice if you're not in by default. You can change that in settings. There's like options and, I don't know, accessibility, social, probably there's like an auto join or not. You can find them in there if you want to play around with them. So then you would normally do that if you're someone who likes joining voice. Alternatively, you can also go there and leave all the voices, even the text chats if you want. But anyway, the game counts down, and then you leave, and you get out of your spawn room. And depending on the game mode, there's different things that happen. So this is control, and this is basically just King of the Hill. So the goal for this one, this game mode, is to control the hill. And you don't have to stay on it to get points like King of the Hill on a lot of other games. All you have to do is capture it. So at the very beginning, there's 30 seconds for these where they're not controllable yet. So you have a little bit of time to skirmish and get in position and stuff and try to, figure out things and fight each other. And so right now, we're just waiting, we're just skirmishing, and then now it unlocked, and you'll see that at the top, it's capping. So the enemy's capping the point because someone's on it, and if I let him cap it, then it's under control. They can get off of the point now. They can just totally get off the point, and they'll keep gaining score. But if I get on, now it's contested. But I can't cap it until only my team is on it. If there's one person on either team on the point, then nobody can cap. You have to clear the point and only have one team on the point in order to cap it. So if I take him out, now I'm the only one on the point for my team. There's no one on from his team on the point, and now we're going to capture. And then my side will start racking up score instead. And game mode, the control game mode is first to win 2 maps win. So after this map ends, it'll go to another variation of Lijiang Tower, and we'll do it all again. And if they win that, we'll go to a 3rd round for best of 2, basically, best of 3, I mean. And if they win that, then they win, or if I win that, then I win. And there's also little nuances with it, like overtime. So, like, if it's at 99%, let me just kill him real fast so I can concentrate. If it's at 99% for one team, but there's people from the enemy team on the point when it's, like, going to 99%, it will stop at 99%. It will go into overtime. And then from there, you can fight until the other people get off the point for too long, or you kill them all and clear the point, and then overtime will end. Or they'll kill all you and they'll take it back, and the match keeps going. Or if you're both at 99%, they'll cap it and just win. So that's kind of the gist of control. So let's go ahead and look at another game mode. Hopefully you have a better understanding of control now, but let's take a look at something else. So now let's take a look at Route 66. It's an Escort map. So Escort maps are these interesting game modes where you have to stay near an objective to push it. I'll show you in just a sec. All right, so on this game mode, I'm already out of spawn. I let it start and stuff, skipped ahead a little bit. The defenders have a little bit of time to prep, get set up, get in position, figure out where they want to be before the attackers are allowed out of their spawn. And so, yeah, defenders get a little chance here to get ready. When the defenders die, they respawn all the way back at the previous spawn point. Depends on the map, but in this case, it's way over there on the other side of those rocks. And they have to come all the way back, which gives the attackers more of a chance to be able to push to the next objective. There's checkpoints. So the checkpoint for the first point on this map is that door. If they get it to that door, then it changes all the spawns. Now the attacker spawns here. Now the defender spawns way back in, like, the very end of the map. And it, moves the whole map forward, basically. So the further they push this payload, the harder it gets for attackers, because now they're further from their spawn, and the easier it gets for defenders, because now it's getting closer to their spawn. So it's kind of like a back and forth. And so when you see right there, when Symmetra is standing near the payload, it just moves. If I come up and get to it also, now it's contested, and since there's one person from each team near it, it cannot move now. So Symmetra would have to clear me off the payload for it to move. Also, Symmetra just left entirely. Another thing to know is that if the attackers get off the payload for long enough, it will start moving backwards. Okay, so it takes a little while. I actually didn't know that until just now. Once there's no attackers on it for like however long, it starts moving backwards. You actually don't have to have anyone on it, which I actually never stopped to think about any of this in Overwatch. I just played the game for like literally 7 years, and I never actually stopped to analyze this. It moves back without anyone being on it. It's just that they have to not be on it for like, I don't know, it was like 15 seconds or something like that. Also, it's important to know in this game mode, you can see at the very top, there's a timer. And they have right now 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, and it's ticking down. That's how much time they have left to end the match. If they hit a checkpoint, it gives them additional time. So each of the 2 checkpoints will give them, I don't remember, a minute, minute and a half, and we'll find out soon enough. And that is really important in competitive mode, because if both teams go the whole way in this game mode, it will reset and they'll go again from the start using their time pool. And that means if you have an advantage, like if you got it with 4 minutes and the other team got it in overtime, then the other team will have almost no time and you'll have a ton. There's some weird mechanisms. So, first I want to say that I actually gave like 2.5 minutes. I never stopped to think about that. That actually gives a lot of time when you get a checkpoint. But yeah, I never, there's like some nuance. So like if one team got in overtime, it'll add a minute to both timers. And if both teams have more than 2 minutes, I think it was, then it will reduce the time until one team has 2 minutes and the other team has whatever the remainder is. Like there's a lot of nuance like that. But yeah, now that that point is capped, you'll see that that is the attacker spawn now. It got moved over to there, and the defender spawn, which was right back there, is no longer there. It's way back in the back of the map, back in a room. If you've never seen this map before, it's like back in the tunnels, basically. And yeah, you just keep going like this, and you know, whichever team gets it with the most time has an advantage on the second round, or one team gets it the whole way and the other team doesn't. Or another thing that happens is it could stop right here, and I could actually say I was ever able to kill the Symmetra. If I was able to stop them here and they ran out of time, this would be how far they pushed it. So then if it's my turn, all we gotta do is push it this far. If we can push it like 1/10 of 1 decimeter or whatever more than them, we win instantly. The game just ends. So yeah, that's how these escort maps work. So I think that's everything I need to say about escort maps. Yeah, that's pretty much escort maps in a nutshell. Let's look at something else now. All right, so hybrid maps. Hybrid maps, it's actually kind of funny because 2CP doesn't exist anymore, so the word hybrid it's kind of weird, but it still kind of makes sense. So we're going to pick Eichenwald, actually, I think is how it's said. I think the W is a V in German. So we're going to jump into one of these, and we're going to talk about the hybrid maps. All right, so hybrid maps, it's similar to the escort maps. The defenders, again, we have like, 40 seconds or whatever it was to get out of our spawn, get to the actual choke point. Spawns are about that far away normally from there all the way up to where we got to defend our objective. It's different for each map, but it's roughly about that far usually. So the goal here is kind of like Control. Remember Control, how you have to hold a point and not let them get it? It's a little different here, though. So same concept of if someone's on the point and someone from the other team's on the point, nothing happens. It's contested, but nothing's changing. But in this one, they just need a cap, almost like the same way as the other cap, and then it moves the map forward. So the attackers are coming from over there. Their spawn's way over there. And we would hold on this map, for example, we'd all be playing here. We'd be trying to hold this choke and not let them through. And they'll be trying to push through and get to the objective. And if they get to the objective and get on the objective, then you'll see at the top, it will start ticking that up. And if that ticks all the way up, then they cap the point, it gives them more time, and then they start pushing this payload like on the escort maps. And again, if I stand here, now it can't move anymore. But something you need to know on this map, in these versions, is there are what we call ticks. I don't know if that's an official name for it or not, but you'll notice that circle at the top with the A around it by defend objective up the top, there are 3 bars that go around that circle. And if they get past one of those bars, that is locked in and guaranteed, and it will not go down past that. So you'll see right now it's a little bit past that. If I take this guy out, it will tick back down, it'll come back down, but it will keep that 1/3. And so those ticks are really important for, not overtime situations, but there's this thing where if they cap that far, now if I become the attacker, say we stop them here, and we held for the whole 3 minutes, And now if I'm the attacker, I have to at least get that 1/3 or we can't win. Actually, it will keep track of the percent, and they pushed a little over that. He probably got 36% right there. And so I would need 36% in order to win then, as the attacker. I have to do better than they did at this part of the objective. So that's really important. A lot of games will come down to that, actually. So getting a tick is very important, because also it makes it easier to cap the second time. Because if I let him get 2 ticks, then even if we push him off the point, next time, they only have to get us off the point for a very small amount of time. So now, if we lose a fight and we're trying to come back in, and it's kind of a staggered fight and things are going weird, if we're coming back in like that, they may just cap because we don't have enough time to get back in position and reassess and get back in there. So ticks are very important on this first point. And so another thing is, let's go to the next steps. I'm gonna let him cap now, and it will add, I guess, what, like 2 minutes, or he's trolling. He's really not on it. Okay, it'll add 3 minutes for a hybrid map on the first one. Now we're basically the same as the other game mode. He's gonna push the objective. If I get on the objective, it can't move. If I kill him and there's nobody on it for like 15 seconds, it will start rolling backwards, and it's pretty much the exact same game mode now. From here on, it's the one I just showed you before. We just got to get it to the end. Whoever pushes it further, wins. Or if we both push it the whole way, we go into overtime. And then you just repeat. The only difference is that first point was the difference. And in this game mode, a lot of times it will come down to that first point. You'll get to a point where you both capped. One team has 3 minutes, one team has 1 minute, or both teams have 1 minute. And then it's, can anybody get a tick at all? Can anybody get that 1/3 or whatever? And that's where things get a little weird in this game mode. I'm just gonna let him go while I talk for a second about the point. So, oh my god, he doesn't want me to go. He wants to kill me. So in overtime and all this, when you get to the point, one team has to get at least 1/3 in the overtime. You can't just touch it and win. They actually had it like that for a little while in Overwatch 1. Everyone hated it. It was just too weird. So they made it so you have to get at least 1/3 or nothing happens, and it will actually lead to what's called a draw. So if both teams cap all the points and they come around a second time and they have to, do the next rounds, and neither team can get 1/3 of a percent or what, or 33% on this point for capping it, the game will end in a draw. And the same thing will happen in the beginning of the game. If both teams hold each other for 4 minutes and neither team gets 33%, it will also end in a draw. So that's how you can get a draw in this game. And if you get beyond 33%, it's actually impossible to get a draw, because there's like, super decimal points. So really, someone gets 33 point something, or like 38%, it's going to be like 38.017219, whatever. There's like, going to be the floats and all that with programming. So it's actually impossible to draw if both teams, if one team gets above 1/3. No matter what, someone is going to be higher or lower, or they're going to cap or not cap. So that's how you get draws, and that's how that works. And yeah, that is this game mode in a nutshell. That leaves us with one more game mode to look at. Then we're going to look at some heroes and abilities and how all this works. All right, so push. This is the brand new game mode in Overwatch 2. There's only 3 versions of them so far. We'll pick Coliseo, or Colosio, however you say it. And let's skip ahead into this one. All right, so this one I'm going to start from the hero select screen, because I got a few things to say about this one. So in push mode, it's very similar to the first one I showed, the control maps, where both teams start an equal distance away from the objective. Both teams will exit their spawn at the same time, and you'll both fight over an objective. And just like in control maps, there's not a lot of time to get ready before you go out the door. It gives you 25 seconds to, after you select your hero and it gets through that screen, you'll have about 25 seconds to stand here and be ready to go. Your goal in push is to get to the robot, I don't know what his name is, and you have to, it's very similar to the escort maps. You have to escort the robot. And it's this weird back and forth where the robot is pushing some arbitrary slab of I don't even know if it's made of metal or plastic. I don't know what it is. And whoever can push the robot further is the winner. So there's these things right here. And if you escort the robot, he'll go really, really fast. And then until he touches a thing, and then he goes really slow when he's pushing. So this is actually really scary to be playing against the Hanzo, even though it's a bot. I feel like he could just kill me, but yeah, so the objective unlocks. It's not unlocked at first. Now it's unlocked, and we're both contesting. If I kill them, the robot will run until it reaches its objective and out pushes. And now if you look at the top of the screen, not only do we have the match lasts like almost 10 minutes, so you've got 10 minutes to just go at it like this, you'll see that bar slowly crossing over like that. And once you get to a checkpoint, if you're beyond that checkpoint, the spawns will change for the one side. So like my side will be a little bit closer from respawn so that they can keep pushing better. And the other side get obviously closer to their spawn because their spawn's literally like right over there. And yeah, they would try to get me off. And if I let them get me off, which I'm going to let him do, then the robot starts going the other way. And then he's going to escort it. It will run all the way back and it will go over here. But if at any point I can test it, it will stop. And so, yeah, the goal is just who can push this thing further. And I feel like it's pretty simple. I can't think of what else to even say about this game mode. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to this game mode. There's just checkpoints. There's no additional time. It's just a 10-minute, you know, slugfest of trying to go back and forth, push as far as you can. And, yeah, that's it. I can't think of anything else to say about this one. It's a pretty simple game mode, honestly. I guess one last thing I thought to say is there is overtime in this, too, to be aware. You should be aware. There's overtime. And it's the same kind of concept of if you get off the robot and it's not contested, then overtime will end and all that. Very similar concept. You'll get a feel for it real fast if you're actually just playing the game. Like, you'll understand really fast. All right, so with the maps out of the way, let's talk some about abilities and health and all this stuff. So, looking down at the bottom of the screen, you see all the UI. My health's down there. My ultimate abilities, that one at the bottom center, I have it charged now. And the bottom right are my abilities. They're different for every character, obviously. Now, I'm going back to spawn because this character, I can't really show you without having allies' abilities. But I can show you some stuff. So, bottom right is my gun with ammo. That's not applicable to every hero, but for Mercy it is. She has a pistol. She can swap weapons. Not every character has swapping weapons, but she specifically does have swapping weapons. And then, you know, primary fire to shoot is left click or, I don't know, probably R on a controller or something. Reload is R or whatever, or I don't know what is on controller. And, you know, you run out of ammo, you have to reload. It depends on the character. Some characters don't, some characters do. There's a lot of nuance to each character. But the one thing I want to talk about before I change characters is at the bottom, there's my ult. Every character has a different ultimate ability. It charges up when you do damage, or it'll charge up if you heal people. Depending on your character, healing and damage both charge it, but not every character has the ability to do any kind of healing. So supports will get it from healing and doing damage. Roadhog's a tank who has self-heal. He'll actually get a little bit of charge from healing, but damage for most characters is how they're going to get it, and for supports, healing is how they're going to get their ult. Once they have it, you press the appropriate button. It tells you what the button is at the bottom. It's Q for me by default on PC. You press it, and for Mercies in particular, it's 15 seconds of being able to fly and be able to shoot with unlimited ammo. The bullets travel twice as fast and things. My beam, which I can't show you, goes further and things. He links to multiple people. You know, every character has their own ultimate ability with all the unique nuances to it and everything. So let's swap to a totally different character. Let's swap to McCree, or, oh, not McCree, it's called Cassidy now. They changed his name. And so now this is a DPS character, and you see he has 225 health. Some DPS have 225. 200 is a pretty standard amount of HP that a lot of characters have, but some DPS have more. Reaper has 250, I think. Mei has 250. You know, there's a lot of whatever, but this character's a different gun, obviously, and you would just shoot your gun, right? He has a thing like you right-click or use your secondary fire, and he'll fan the hammer with any remaining ammo, then reload. He has a sticky grenade, which is E by default on PC. I don't know. You just look at your buttons. At the bottom right, it literally shows you what your button is. So if you're on a controller, whatever that's going to be. And then his shift, which I don't even know what you ability 1, ability 2, I guess. If for him is a roll, which let me show you real fast. If I shoot a bullet, you see I'm 5 of 6 ammo. Roll. It also reloads my gun, but it's also a nice like way to reposition. So that's McCree. And then his ult is High Noon, which is going to be a totally different ult. And, I mean, I could sit here and go through every character and their ultimate abilities, and we'd be here for a long time, because there's, like, 30-something characters in the game. But, like, his would be, you stand basically perfectly still. Anyone who's, you're able to see it charges a little icon on them, and if it completely fills, you left-click, it fires at everybody who's you visibly see. And if the icon's full, it just one-taps them. Or as filled as it is, it does that much percent of their HP and stuff. So, that's kind of McCree in a nutshell. There's also these things. These are health packs. They're distributed throughout each map. You'll have to slowly learn these. There's no easy way to learn where they are other than playing the game. If you grab them to give HP, the small ones restore, I want to say 80 HP. I actually never stopped to think. It's not full heal, though, that's for sure. And then if you go around, I don't know where a mega is on this map. They're called megas. I don't know if that's their actual name or not. But there's bigger ones, like this one over here, and you'll see it looks much bigger. And these heal, I don't actually remember. I think 200, or was it a full heal? They heal a lot. Let's just say they heal a lot. I don't remember the exact number, even though I played for 7 years. Don't judge me. I don't remember, to be honest. They heal way more. Any smaller HP character is no matter what a full heal. So those are important. Certain characters are going to need these a lot more. There's characters like Sombra who can hack these and makes it so the enemy team can't pick them up, and that they recharge faster, so someone can just be like camping it, and instead of having a respawn of like 8 seconds or 10, it'll have like a 3-second respawn, and you can be fighting someone and it's back and you heal, and you're fighting someone and it's back and you heal, and you just kind of keep going like that. Actually, see, this guy actually will grab a health pack now. I'm going to see if I can show you High Noon. Although I guess I can't because he doesn't want to grab. There we go. So High Noon is I can charge it and then just one tap. So it sounds OP, but McCree's High Noon's actually like a death trap. You'd be really careful with his ult. But yeah, every character's got different abilities. You're just going to have to, you know, play around, learn. That's where the training grounds or practice, whatever it was called, practice range. You go to training and there's a practice range. This is where it's, you know, really great to be able to try out different characters and their abilities, see how they work, see what the cooldowns are and stuff. Find out who you like, what kind of play style do you really want to play. And you can go over here and you can change this character out with something else to see, you know, what their hitboxes are and stuff. So you can, you know, learn a lot about this kind of thing. Also, something I forgot to mention about those other game modes, and it's something a lot of you might wonder at some point, is how do you swap heroes? So if you're playing as Genji in an actual match and you don't want to play him anymore, you want to play something else, you go back to spawn and it'll tell you what button it is for whatever console you're on or PC or whatever. In my case, it's H by default. And I press H when I'm in spawn, and it'll take me back to the screen and I can change someone out. Now, it's important to know that you'll see at the bottom I have 43% alt. If I change to someone else, it will reduce that down to 30 if it's higher than 30. At least that was my understanding. Maybe that's not exactly how it works. I think that's how it works. That's a new change. You just remove it. But now you keep some of it, so it's not like the worst thing ever to change nowadays. But do keep in mind that it will reduce your ultimate ability. You can't charge your ult on someone, go back, swap, and then come out with their ultimate ability on a harder one that's harder to charge or something like that. All right, and I saved the best for last. Not really. We're going to take a look at options, and this is really important. Hopefully I remember to put timestamps in this video so you guys can, you know, sort through this video better of what you're trying to find out. So first thing you should really do, if you're on PC especially, is go to video, look at the different settings, set up frame rate, field of view. You know, most people want max field of view. For PC in particular, this is all much more important. Consoles are a lot more streamlined, so you're not going to have this. You're definitely not going to have the same options. I just don't remember what it's like on console, but on PC, you go to graphics quality. You know, if you want to get more frame rate, you're going to want to, you know, turn quality down. And then detail has things where you can see performance stats and latency and system clock and all that stuff, which I like having some of that on. It's really nice. But yeah, if you want to be a really good FPS player, if you don't know from other games, you want to get as high a frame rate as reasonably possible, because higher frame rate makes it easier to see and reduces input lag and all that. Then there's the sound tab. You can change volumes and stuff, change your default sound device. Again, it's going to be different on console, but just be aware that all the settings are in here. Here's where the voice chat auto join is. There's on and off for match voice team. You have auto join on or off. So like it just defaults to not, you know, to having it turned off or on all this stuff. So you can go in here. If there's anything's wacky with the settings with voice chat and you can't figure it out, go into here. It'll all be in here. There's push to talk. I'm not sure how that will be on console, but that's where it would be if that is a thing. And you get to click it and press what buttons. You can do toggle the mic mute, or you can push to talk. Controls are really important. You can change your sensitivity in here. You can also change it per hero. So I can go to Pharah, and I can have a different sense on Pharah, and I could have a different crosshair and things, and, you know, different settings in general for Pharah. And then I go over to Hanzo and have totally different settings as well. You go down here, and there's all the key bindings. So you can actually change around your controls however you want. I'm not sure if it's identical like this on console, or if the console's forced upon you how the controls are. I don't remember. I think not. I think you can actually change them on console too. Don't quote me on that though. There's interface buttons, so you can also see all the keybinds for custom game controllers for like the moderator and different things, and social menus, communication things, how do you do the pings and the voice chat and stuff like that, and what do you want to be bound to. Here's all the ping options and stuff. Spectate options, so you can see... I guess this is broken right now, so I guess that hopefully someday that'll be there. But there's supposed to be shortcuts for the cameras in the spectate mode when you're watching replays, and then replay just broken. So these are just broken right now, but I doubt those will be broken forever. So if you're watching this video in the future, these hopefully will have all the buttons here, so you can actually change like how to pause and unpause and little shortcuts for spectating and stuff. Gameplay, it's just got little random things like I hardly even know what they do, and they're not really important. Gameplay doesn't have much. HUD does have some stuff though. You can change the opacity of the ability timer, and you know, different little settings. You can play with these, look through these, see if there's anything you want to mess with. And then social options. This one's a big one to know about. It's career profile visibility. You can make it private, friends only, or groups only. And what that will do is make it so when you go to your career profile, if they try to right-click you and go to this in a match, it will just say private and won't show them anything. And if you're wondering why that's an option, it's because there used to be a lot of toxicity in Overwatch where someone would go to your profile and they go, oh my god, it's a Moira player. Oh god, we lose, and they're trolling and obnoxious, and you're, oh god, so people don't want to deal with it. If you play, like, if you one-trick a character, play some oddball crap, and you just don't want to deal with people just nagging at you all the time, that's usually why you would want to set that to private, so people just, like, you know, screw off basically and stop pestering you just because they saw something on your profile. It's weird. And then you can just set different options: friends, groups, custom games, text chat. Can you receive whispers, yes or no? You know, all these options here. There's accessibility for color blindness. There's text-to-speech options. So be aware of all those settings. That's pretty much everything. So I think I covered everything. I really hope I covered everything, but it's so hard to remember everything when making one of these videos. But hopefully this beginner guide helped you out. I guess there's a few more things that I should mention, like tips. So tips for the game generally. If you haven't played FPS games, these tips are only really applicable for people who haven't played FPS games. It's bad to just stand out wildly in the open if you don't have a reason to or don't know why. If there's someone who's a threat, you want to, like, corner peek like this and things. There's little things you can do like this to make yourself less likely to get killed. You want to position in high ground and positions of power. If you're in this position shooting at someone, you're a lot better off than if you're down here, because you can go down, but you can't go back up. Some characters have mobility, so some characters can go up and down high ground. So on certain maps, if there's, like, a map where there's a lot of high ground like this, you might want to play Pharah or Genji or somebody who can go up easily and go. There's a lot of verticality they can do with their abilities, and they can easily navigate the map. There's a map called Gibraltar, and people who can't do verticality really struggle in the first 2 points of that map. So there's things like that that matter. As a healer, it depends on the healer, but for some healers, it's good to find a spot like this where you're kind of safe and you're just shooting from a safe area. You don't want to just be, like, just standing here for no reason and that guy's just killing me. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be able to position in a place where you can get some cover. You can easily get to a position and run and then turn and try to do something to the guy chasing you. Or you want to be on high ground. It just depends on the character. Anna's a specific one where she's really good to just lock down some safe spot like this and heal from a distance. But other characters have different ways of going about their healing and how they perform in it. So you'll have to kind of learn the nuances of each healer and how to position and how to heal with them and what way to go about it. Those would be different guides altogether. I could go on for ages about that. Tanks are kind of a weird thing now because there's only one of them, so you got to be really careful. And tank's a tough one. I'm not good at tank. I've watched people good at tank, and I'm always wondering how are they doing that. Where, like, they'll just be standing out in the open, but they just know when to be in the open and when to, like, come to a wall and when to just face tank and when to absorb damage. And, you know, it's a lot of nuance. Tank's a tough one to learn, but if you're into it, it can be really rewarding once you know the ins and outs of where to position and where to stand and how to stand in a place and why and all that. Like, it's got a lot of nuance to it, but your general goal as a tank is to be a distraction in a lot of cases, but it just depends on the tank. But generally, your goal as a tank for a lot of time is just get their attention, have them focus on you instead of the DPS and stuff, and create openings for your DPS to get in there and get their hands dirty, basically. So that's Overwatch 2 in a nutshell. Hopefully now I covered everything. I gave you some tips too to get you started. I mean, if you guys want an actual in-depth, crazy tips and tricks for every single thing I can think to tell you, that would be like a 3-hour video probably, but I could try to make a shorter version if you guys want. But I haven't even looked at the recording time. This is probably already like half an hour or something video. This is a really long video, so let's save it with just beginner tips and starter tips on this one. And again, if you want some more advanced tips and crazy in-depth stuff, just let me know in the comments below. I've played this game for, between my 3 accounts, I've played probably 1,500 hours. I've played at the GM level. I've played top 500. I've been ranked 26 before. I could help you out if you want. Just let me know. But yeah, hopefully this starter guide, beginner tips guide, just how Overwatch works in general kind of guide helped you out. And now you're ready to play some Overwatch and get out there and have some fun.